So the big thing at the moment is that there's been this big release of a bunch of documents. I think they're FBI documents, but we're going to have a closer look. Related to the FBG duck case. A lot of new revelations, many of which have been available on our favourite Reddit-based internet snitching platform, r/Chiracology, people. Loving that timing. Let's go. Let's go. Okay? The full FBG duck murder report has come out. Okay? And, saying it's looking crazy. It's looking crazy. There's been a lot of interesting things, okay? And I don't necessarily want to sit and go through all of this because a lot of people have found, like, quite popular things. But we're going to just talk about some of the stuff. Obviously, the big thing that has been going around a lot... Let me see if I can get a better view on this. Let me see if I can get a better view on this bish. On this thing. Okay, so this is one of the biggest things that's come out in the situation. This is essentially a document. There we go. Look at that. Look at that beautiful setup. Okay, this is essentially a document that has revealed that allegedly King Von had a $100,000 bounty on FBG Duck's head, and that's how FBG Duck ended up losing his life. So we've got here Weekly, which is FBG Duck, was creating rap music that dismissed and disrespected deceased Black Disciple gang members. FBG Duck was a Gangster Disciple gang member. There was another Black Disciple gang member named, and it's not there, but it's obviously Von, offered a $50,000 reward to anybody who killed Duck. A short time later, Von increased the reward to $100,000, with somebody saying after the murder that Von purchased custom-made necklaces for O-Block GDs responsible for the murder of FBG Duck. We know these chains. We've seen these chains. King Von ices out O-Block with 10 new pendants. My God.
Oh yeah, let me get it. Icy, yeah.
Don't ask me.
What the price is, man? It ain't gonna.
So next Friday, I'm gonna have 10 more.
All the killers.
If a nigga there, he probably fuck it up if he can't be on the lease though. You know I beat up, but they ain't supposed to be on the lease. They probably
they
business.
can come investigate too. You gotta be
They will get kicked out.
Yeah, they come and investigate, Von. You gotta be careful.
Appreciate it, man.
Absolutely.
Nice. Come on, y'all. I'm hungry, man. What we on, y'all? What color's up? One just put this 1992 to 2012.
Okay, who's that one for?
Sherrod Squad.
I want to know the name.
Yeah, I know. C Murder.
Okay.
Yeah.
C Murder, eh? C Murder, what, from the indictment? Yep, C Murder.
And both of these on
Yeah,
one?
19 to 2010.
Okay.
Born date. Yeah.
And this is on one pendant.
Yeah, 1922.
The curve is better.
I'm cool with that.
And then you just, how do you spell?
You know what Von was up to on Phonum and all that stuff. So that's what was going on, okay? If he was still alive, he would be going to jail. He would be going to jail. Okay, is there more to this? Let's go back. So that was a big deal that Von had, it's not proven, but hell, it's in there. And, it's not, is what it is. So these sorts of things are circulating, right? It's like now we know for sure that King Von put $100,000 on FBG Duck's head. We've got these twisted tweets circulating. This is one that he did not too long. It's like a month and a week after Duck was killed. Of Von just capping twisted serial killer vibes. Me and Duck settled our differences right before he passed. We were talking about bringing everybody together as a whole and changing the community for the better. I'ma still stand on that. Every step of the way, I'ma be thinking of you. Now that's true, even though you dissed my dead homies and family. Baffling. He's saying the chains. People in the comments are like, the chains were bought way before Duck's murder. I mean, he was putting up the money for the murder to take place. They received the it's when they received the chains that matters the most, I would say. Crazy. Trolling. So this has been floating around. I'm not sure if this is true. This is 3 days ago. Okay, it could be coming. This guy says, I've got Duck's murder surveillance footage scheduled for release in 5 days. This was 3 days ago. I'm on the edge of my seat waiting for this to allegedly come out. All right. Has he answered any questions about it? The Dusky funeral shooting footage is probably going to be bigger than the Duck one. Request that. But apparently they denied it as that's an open case. Crazy. Crazy. Everyone's telling him to watermark it. Bro, don't watermark it. Like, just don't. It doesn't really belong to you. Like, you're the GOAT who went and got it and did the Freedom of Information request. Like, good on you. But, you know, everyone's going to rip it and react to it. Like, no one's going to buy your merch for sticking a watermark over a video of somebody getting murdered. So just release it, man. Just do us all a favor. I'm not trying to see some dumb watermark over this. I hate seeing watermarks, man. Just leave it. Leave it out. If the work's good and you've done, you know. Anyway, there's apparently the autopsy of FBG Duck. Apparently he was shot in the head as well, which is interesting because you get a lot of these like Von lyrics and all the O Block members that were involved dropping these lyrics talking about, oh, he hit him in his head and all this stuff. And I was like, that's not true. Turns out that's what was he got hit in the head. That's pretty messed up. But anyway, a lot of crazy stuff popping up in there. This was a big deal. So I think the best way to actually summarize what was discussed, let's just go to the comments of the full FBG Duck murder report on Reddit. So apparently Zell, who is a guy who was allegedly one of the shooters of FBG Duck, a sixth shooter, but apparently took his own life before, he's in the murder report. Let's see if we can have a look at this thing. I mean, should we have a look at it? Apparently it's massive. So I don't know if I'm going to have time for the whole thing. But, okay, apparently part 5 has crazy stuff in it. Apparently a dude went to Mount Sinai Hospital high on PCP, told the nurse he shot Duck, and he had a backpack with a gun and $10,000 in it. So it doesn't say who it is. If I had to guess, I would say it's Zell, because he's not with us anymore. And this is the sort of behavior that if you got high on PCP and went to a hospital and told everyone you killed Duck, you might be feeling a bit trapped. You might be feeling like putting the gun to your own dome, because that is crazy. So, this is a police report saying that this guy apparently turned up. Is he bleeding? Waiting to be released from the hospital. Said he had a backpack. No backpack? Became angry and freaked out. He said he had a gun and $10,000 in his backpack and shot Duck, that rapper, on Oak Street. Because the hospital didn't have the backpack, he freaked out and the nurse calmed him down. $40 in cash that was in his sock and IDs. Bruh. Ish is crazy. So that's part 5. I'm thirsty. He was on this door, got out and stepped and got up with the pipe. C Murder was with him. Snap, live, or posted on social media. When Kenneth was telling me he was telling the truth. This writing's terrible. This was approximately something after the murder. This was approximately some number of days after the murder. They are stopping every car in O Block. Have a gun that is Kenneth's. He picked up after the murder. It might have been a 9. Brother was Speedy guy in street. Pulled U-turn. Brother was speeding in street. Pulled a U-turn and flew down the block. And was on my grandma porch. Said, throw a gun, something. He's mad, then he ran in the house, and it's his gun. Can't read that, man. That's tricky. Can't read shit in there. Okay, so here's some interesting stuff from the report. Apparently, FBG Duck was stood over and shot at when he was on the ground in that situation, which is crazy because we've all seen the videos of Duck sort of laying on the floor, sort of writhing in pain, and apparently they stood over him, shot him even in the head, and he was still alive on the floor getting medical attention, which is crazy. So apparently Zellmunner was named in these documents as a killer, and it stated he shot himself and did not overdose. Apparently he shot himself. That'd be interesting to read a little bit more about. It said that Muwop is a high-level O-Block member connected to multiple murders. Both the CPD and FBI worked on this case. This is a big case. You're not getting out. Someone from O-Block who provided guns and drugs snitched on all 5 offenders. Now, that's crazy. Somebody who was providing them guns and drugs snitched on all of them. Turned on all of them. Couldn't be Von. I've been watching loads of videos today of Von talking about how he doesn't snitch. He would never snitch. So it can't possibly be him. So the bounty on Duck's head for 50k that was up to 100k. Basically, O-Block is cooked. They have mountains of witnesses, forensics, video, phone, and phone data. FBG Duck was shot in the head, back, arms, chest, neck, and legs. And as soon as Duck hit the ground, one of the shooters said, "Yeah, bitch." Bunch of more details that he didn't list. Now that's crazy. What else we got? Duck had a price on his head, and a murder of Ra from Parkway Gardens may be related. He stated he knows all the players and can make identifications if needed. He said they are all on YouTube and post everything they do. Now that aspect's crazy. That aspect's crazy. Let's just load it up and have a look, shall we? Let's have a look. This thing is long. Right, this is the original incident report of Duck being found on the ground. Is there anything interesting there? Okay. So a witness said they were sat in their parked vehicle. Oh, this is the girlfriend and her boyfriend. FBG Duck was standing in line outside of the store Milani Boutique on 50th East Oak Street when 2 unknown offenders exited a dark-colored Ford Fusion and 2 other unknown offenders exited a grey Chrysler and began shooting at her and Duck. They then enter a Chrysler 300 and flee westbound on Oak Street. The victim's vehicle, a 2010 Mazda, was towed for hazard. That's it, okay. They observed a black vehicle come to a sudden stop. 2 males in all black jumped out the vehicle with guns. The passenger pointed their gun and shot at a person on the sidewalk. So, okay, this one's crazy. All right, there we go. On the 6th of August 2020, a Mount Sinai nurse called 911 and said there was a patient, we don't know their name currently, who told her he was one of the offenders who shot and killed FBG Duck. They reported that he told the nurse that he received a fee of $10,000 to kill Duck. He was then placed into interview room D. He appeared to be delusional and behaving in a manner that was consistent with a person who had been using hallucinogens. Without being questioned, he repeatedly stated that he wanted to sign a confession for shooting the rapper named Duck, as well as the police officers that he shot the day before. What? This guy apparently shot at the cops. That's nuts. What? Dude shot at the... So the dude shot at Duck apparently shot at cops the day after. He would then state that he lies about things he's done, and will take credit for violent things he sees on TV. Could be Cap. Could be some random dude. Could be one of the dudes. They told the nurse that he received $10,000 for killing FBG Duck, and the handgun in his backpack was the murder weapon. The nurse thought he was telling the truth and called 911. 3 ATC detectives were able to capture the video from this incident, which led them to be transported to the hospital. At one point, the unattended backpack can be seen on the sidewalk. Oh, shoot. However, as the paramedics were placing him into the ambulance, an unknown and unidentified person can be seen walking away with the backpack. They had the Duck murder weapon. The guy was saying, I did it. The gun's in the bag. And an unidentified person walked away with the backpack. My God. They checked the area to see if the backpack was thrown in a garbage can. They didn't find it. Damn. I guess, so it's sort of saying that when he sobered up, he said he didn't mean to shoot at the police officers the day before, and that he wanted to apologize. Then he denied shooting the rapper Duck and says that he enjoys lying and taking credits for things he sees on TV. He said that he smoked weed and PCP on the 5th of August and started acting goofy, saying that he was fired to lying for his supervisor for smoking PCP. So this could just be a nutter, or it could be somebody involved. Good God. Apparently there's no evidence that this individual was involved in the murder of Colton Weekly, and that he was released without charging. So apparently that was Cap, but an interesting aspect of the story. What else we got going on? Alright, have they made a mistake here? Because this says April 5th, 2020, but that probably should say August 5th, 2020, right? Because that don't make sense. Okay, so this is an interview with a security guard outside the Chanel store. He said they were working as a security guard and monitoring the Chanel store line. They observed FBG Duck standing on the sidewalk across the street outside D&G. He recognized Duck from the neighborhood where he worked as a Chicago police officer before transferring, but he didn't know him personally. Said he was a well-known rap star. He heard gunshots and turned towards Dolce & Gabbana. Noticed a car that was double parked. He didn't see anybody get out of it. There was another car, Chrysler. He saw a man with a surgical mask on his face, firing a black semi-automatic handgun, possibly a Glock. What else we got? We're looking for gems here. We're looking for those tidbits of information that have been overlooked. Got a long-ass report. Just a whole bunch of license plates, yada, yada, yada. Come on. There's the meat and potatoes. I want more stuff about Vaughn. I want all the secret surveillance details on Vaughn. We ain't getting nowhere with this. I mean, not seeing too much interesting factoids in here. So that was a tip. And there was apparently a video of the homicide that was viewed. Then that was compared to... Oh, this... Okay, now we're getting into it, okay? So, on January the 11th, 2021, they were given a tip. The feds, FBI, were given a tip regarding the homicide, and they did an interview. We don't know anything about the interview, but somebody was shown a video of the crime, of the murder actually taking place. They were then shown still photographs of individuals from O Block Parkway Gardens. Not sure what the details are. But people have been saying that this is King Von. This is what people have been saying. They've been saying that somebody identified someone, right? People saying it's King Von, who supported O Block with drugs and firearms purchase. They would then receive the profits from these drug sales and reward O Block members with jewelry and vacations. They identified Charles Liggins as C. Murder, saying that he was an original member whose brother Sherrod was killed by the enemies on St. Lawrence GDs on 63rd. This identified somebody as a shooter who was close to... I mean, it's short, probably 3 letters, I don't know. They identified Marcus Smart as Moo Wop, who had conducted several murders on behalf of the O Block disciples. They identified Carlos Offord as Carlos Orlos, an O Block member with family ties to the BDs. Identified somebody who operated O Block. Low-level O Block members, young O Block members. A lot of people who maybe haven't been charged here, but you might know from O Block. Yeah, famous people affiliated with O Block. It's not a good look. It's just the security from the Montclair store. This is interesting. These guys have worked for Montclair Security for 4 years. They observed 2 subjects walking in who said they were being chased by somebody with a gun. They gave them a video of it. So apparently, I guess Duck had run into the Montclair store and said, they're trying to kill me. And the dude filmed it. Didn't seem to offer much help. Damn, did I just lose it? I just lost the report. That was it. That was the end of that one. That was like 100 and so pages. But let's keep going. I'm just going to keep going through these. God dang it. Dang nabbit. Why not? Don't mind if I do. I've got all the time in the world. Part 2. 82 pages. Good lord. Let's find some goodies in here. Let's find some gold. Gonna read the entire thing. Colton Weekly's mother gave her an update about the investigation's progress. Where the big walls of text at? Who's this? Okay, we sort of know what happened in the situation. When I said I'm going to read the whole thing, I said I'm going to read the bits that interest me. So, video footage of the incident was indeed recovered and inventoried, and apparently it's coming out in a few days, so I'm very curious to know if that actually does come out. This is kind of a repetition of what we saw earlier. Be working for Montclair. This is kind of just repeating itself, right? I don't know. I don't know if we're going to find any more fire info in here. A lot of this is just inventories of stuff that was found at the crime scene. What are you saying, gang? Should I move on to something else? Is this boring? I feel like I'm not finding anything interesting. We could look at something completely different. Let's switch it up. Let's switch it up.